What's up, GG Nation, GG Legion? It's your fella again, Straussman the GG, and welcome to our Spoilercast of Justice League. If you can somewhat see him behind us, or the cup here.
Yeah.
Of Justice League. So, as usual, this is not like how we did Stranger Things, where it was just spoilers throughout. This one's going to be non-spoiler beginning. Second half will be spoilers, like traditional Golden God and Friends podcast as usual.
Yep.
And today is we brought back Night Phase. If you remember him, definitely subscribe. His channel will be down below. He saw Justice League day one. I saw it Sunday with my pops, so we got time to settle down, think about
marinate,
it.
You know?
Yeah, think about it. So let's dive in. I want to thank you guys as well for all the views. We're smashing our view goals through the roof. You guys really seem to enjoy anime time. I really appreciate that with Chad. That definitely will make Chad happy, and we'll have another fun one for you this week. So let's dive right in, Night Phase. So
let's do it, man.
Let's do this. Justice League spoiler cast, and welcome back. Thanks for coming back on the show.
Thanks for having me. Always a blast doing these.
Yeah, it's always fun collabing with you, teaming up.
Same.
All right, so let's. I contributed this to the good, the bad, and the ugly. So don't kill us. We're not trying to start any DC wars or Marvel versus DC wars. We will talk about comparisons of both, but just be respectful in the comments. Just have fun with it. Just enjoy the movie if you enjoy it.
Yeah.
But honestly, how do you feel about this movie? Like, how do you feel? Let's start out with the good. How do you really feel?
Well, the first impressions, I had a lot of fun with the movie, even though it does have its flaws. Some are very notable. Especially with the post-production, you can tell, like you can tell the movie as a whole is not very cohesive, is not complete. Like, when I first watched it, I was like, okay, I had fun with the movie, but I could tell there were certain scenes missing, like, but it was fun. It just has its flaws, but it wasn't overbearing, like... I'm just gonna show it to you guys. It wasn't like this. I mean, I know some people love this, but
But I thought it was okay. Like, I thought it was okay movie. I had fun. It is a fun popcorn movie. If you just want to go to the movies, eat a bunch of popcorn, nachos, enjoy it. That's what it really is. But compared to a movie earlier that they did, Wonder Woman, it is nowhere near the level of that.
No, it's not.
And a movie 2 weeks that we reviewed 2 weeks before this, Thor Ragnarok, that movie jumbled bunch of characters, and they handled it much better.
Much better.
Yeah. And even Josh Whedon's very first Avengers, if you really want to honestly compare it to that movie, because this is the first time they team up.
Yeah.
That movie had better build-up. It had better story, better build-up, and that movie still holds up, in my opinion.
That's actually the perfect comparison, actually.
Yeah.
Because you get... And the story here has a lot of elements of the Avengers in a way, but
it does, yeah.
But the Avengers was better told, because you had the MCU behind it. You had all these films before that one came out that built up all the characters, and this one just didn't. They were trying to jumble all these characters, and
I agree with you 100%. But I do actually think in the long run this will actually work out, because I think they did it this way because they needed to sell people on Aquaman and Cyborg. And they did. Okay. For me anyway.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
For me, they sold those two. Those two can carry a movie.
Okay.
Those two, for me anyway, they can carry a movie now.
Minus the Flash.
We'll get to the Flash. We'll get to the Flash. I think Flash will be a pal. I feel like he'll be palled around a lot in the DCU. He'll be in a lot of... I know he's supposed to get his own Flashpoint movie, but I feel like he'll be palled around a lot. Like, they'll throw him in the Cyborg movie. Or they might, somehow sneak him into the Aquaman movie or something.
That would actually work better, in my opinion. About his character.
Yes, yeah. And, I say it I wouldn't say it's a 37% Rotten Tomatoes, but maybe like a 50%, 60%, 60.
I would say, in my opinion, 60.
It's
60.
It's not completely bad, but there's a lot of huge flaws. I felt definitely like it's two movies in one.
Yeah.
For you, did the characters make this movie for you at all? Like, how did you feel about the characters the first time we see these five lined up? We'll talk about that other person.
Yeah.
I know you typing right now. We'll talk about that. Just hold on, we'll get there.
The character interactions is what sold the movie for me. It's what made it work. The alliance, have them come together when they have shared screen time together. All the Justice League members. I think that's where the movie really flourishes, and it's really engaging. It's really good and fun. But when they the first half of the film is just a jumbled mess. It's very jarring. It's like they're just cutting back to back with each character trying to rush it.
Yeah, it definitely felt like two movies put to one. You could tell Zack Snyder, and then you could tell Joss Whedon. It's part of the movie,
especially the dialogue. Joss Whedon.
You could tell. You could tell the humor for shit.
Every time they talk, is Joss Whedon.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Every vocabulary, Joss Whedon.
But I think the characters for me personally did make this movie. I love the two people I was worried the most about when the DCU was announced way back when was Gal Gadot and Ben Affleck.
Oh, okay, yeah.
As Batman. Those two, as Wonder Woman and Ben Affleck, I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
But both of them are the shining stars of the DCU now.
They are.
My worries are put to rest. They are fantastic. They both shine in this movie. I do like the romance between the two. Because usually it's Wonder Woman and Superman.
Well, there's some potential romance. You think they'll eventually?
I think they should. I think they hit in it, but they kind of play around where, they all kind of find the hots for her a little bit. Like they all do, like Aquaman and all those.
Oh, yeah.
But the characters make the movie for me, and I'm really sold on Aqua Bro. That's what I'm going to call him. He's Aqua Bro, because Jason
Momoa like a bat. I like it.
Drinking whiskey. He's
like a rock star in this movie. So funny.
I'm sold on Ray Fisher. I love Ray Fisher as Cyborg.
He surprised me.
Fantastic.
Because it's interesting about Ray Fisher. He has a background. I think he was in Broadway musicals. So his scenes, man, he's very subtle in what he does. He has the best dramatic role. He does a lot for being 90% CGI. He really impressed me.
I think he had the most complete story too, because the story was actually about him, really, in a lot of ways.
Me so intrigued in his character, even though I don't know that much of Cyborg's lore. He's a character I was never too into in the DC universe, but now I'm just...
Well, 90% of the DC universe would probably agree with you, even though they know maybe a little bit of Cyborg, Teen Titans, stuff like that.
Yeah, I only know from Injustice.
they sold... Yeah, right. Yeah. They sold Cyborg. Ray Fisher was surprisingly brilliant to me. I really enjoyed his voice. It was very... intellectual, and I like that because that's what it's a more serious Cyborg, and he's learning, and all this shit's going on in his head. And he's learning new stuff every day.
And I like how they tied him into the story. We'll get to it in the spoilers, but it was very pivotal, and I like.
Yes, he was very pivotal, and I like also the fact that his dad was talking to him like, hey, you don't be cooped up. You can go out and stuff. He's like, well, I'm just. There's a monster going around or something about a monster, and he goes.
He feels like a Frankenstein monster.
Yeah, and he goes. Experiment. And he goes, "You're not a monster." He goes, "Well, it's odd that you think I was talking about me."
Oh yeah,
I was like, "Ooh,
that was brilliant."
Whip.
yeah. Take that, Dad.
So that Jason Momoa, I like the fact that this Aquaman is not king yet. He is not established. Mira does not even respect him at all.
But she is hot, so
Mira was definitely.
She has my respect.
She looked fantastic, and her abilities were fun, really, really fun. It'll be interesting to see how they work the talking in the Aquaman movie. Because it will slow down a lot if they keep doing the little barrier bubble thing.
Yeah, we definitely got to talk about
We will talk about that in the spoilers a little bit. We'll talk more about Mira, but I just touch on... I just like the fact that Jason Momoa, Arthur Curry in this story is not established king of Atlantis yet.
Yeah.
He's not respected. He still feels haunted about his mom and dad, and he's still burned on that. And he doesn't he doesn't really want to join the team completely yet.
His story, I think his story's gonna be he's a college dropout or something. He's just man, I'm just drinking, having a good time. I don't want to be king. Kind of
playing my fishbone
guitar.
And let's go. Anything good you want to touch upon before we go to the bad and then the ugly?
No, just like I said, the main. When I went into this movie, my expectations were low. Obviously,
mine were very low.
Yeah.
I mean, they were the floor.
They're close to the floor. Where my shoe is. But what I wanted to see was just the Justice League members coming together, forming a great alliance, and having good chemistry. That's all I asked for, and that's what I got.
Yeah.
So I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, okay, they made that aspect work, and because they made that aspect work, they made the film a lot of fun.
Feel more natural.
And feel more natural despite its flaws. I could look past certain flaws and still enjoy this movie. I can rewatch this movie and still enjoy for what it is.
It's definitely a rewatchable movie.
Yeah.
Let's talk about. Okay, one character we didn't touch upon. I don't want to talk about him, but how'd you feel about the Flash? Like honestly.
Okay. When. He
was
the one I was worried about the most.
Ezra was definitely the one I was worried about.
Yeah. So when I went in, I was like, all right, let's see what you got, Ezra, and. Surprisingly, he did not annoy me on the same level that Lex Luthor annoyed me.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't that overbearing. There are some lines that he says that it just felt were a little forced. So I was like, okay, you could have done without that. But he did not annoy me, surprisingly. He kind of grew on me towards the end. And I kind of like that aspect. I don't know if he can helm his own film yet. I think
that's why I feel like he'll be palled around a lot.
And I think he really shines when he plays off others. And we'll get to that.
I'm gonna surprisingly have to agree, even though it sounds so negative what I said before. I still don't like him as Flash. I don't like him as Barry Allen. I was watching some reviews and someone hit the nail on the head. That he's more like Wally West. He's more like the second Flash.
Oh, yeah.
Than Barry Allen.
I didn't think of that.
Honestly, in this story, he worked. And it didn't, like you said, it didn't, like, I felt the same way. He didn't annoy me as much as I thought he would.
Yeah.
His shtick was that was his shtick. He was going to be the funny guy in this movie. That's just who he was.
Yeah.
And, his shtick was kind of the pause, kind of looking around awkwardly. That was his thing.
Yeah.
I would say 60-40. Like 60% misses for his jokes, 40% hit. A lot of people weren't laughing, but there was a few laughs on certain ones. Even me laughing on certain jokes, he would say. Yeah. But to me, he's the weakest link to this movie. Okay. Personally, characterization-wise, out of everybody.
Out of the Justice League.
Out of the Justice League, he's the weak... Well... We'll talk about. I know who you're talking about. We'll get to him. He's in the ugly for sure.
To me, he is what brought this movie down.
Yeah, for sure. I agree 1,000%. I know who you're talking about. Yeah. But out of the Justice League, out of these 5, 6 characters, he was the weakest link for me by far. I did not enjoy his performance. I didn't like how he ran. It annoyed me. Yeah. It annoyed the shit out of me. Just like, no one runs that way. No one runs that way. And I just want to be like, hey, cut. Like, Ezra, just run normal, dude.
Run normal.
Just run normal. But I say he didn't. I don't think he hurt the movie that much. As much as I thought. Like, I really cringed at the earlier trailers, but he actually had some funny lines.
No,
and
he did.
Played well. Yeah. And I really felt for him when he was talking to his dad, and his dad was like, dude, get a real job. Make me proud.
And kudos to
that hurt. That hurt me. I was like, ooh.
Kudos to them for casting Dr. Manhattan to play his father. Because that was him.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And they kind of look similar.
They actually do. They did look relatable.
Yeah, they look relatable. So I was like, oh, this is.
So, like,
awesome.
That's what I want to touch about the Flash. Flash is one of my favorite DC characters, and I understand what Ezra was trying to do, and I get it, and that's what he was signed up for. That's what they threw him in that role. But personally, in the DCU, I did not like Flash. I did not like... Mm-hmm. I do like some of the cool things they did, though. We'll talk about in the spoilers with another character.
Oh, yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
Let's go to the bad. So, was the story really good? Like, was the story a cohesive unit?
No, it's not cohesive at all. It's not the greatest story. They could have done...
It's a very basic superhero story. Yeah,
it's just like you just assemble the team, you gotta stop the big bad guy.
Yep.
And that's it. It's very basic.
It really was. It was just a basic story. There is a thread, these guys assemble really quick together, stop the big bad, but I never really felt like they were ever in trouble. Like, not once. I never felt
most definitely, I didn't feel that.
I know, even though Steppenwolf is a very powerful being in the comics, and he's very powerful in this universe, but I never felt like, oh my god, they're not gonna win.
Especially because they're, towards the end sequence, you don't feel like that. Oh my god, like the end of the world, high stakes, like you should, because like say for like the Avengers, and I hate to compare them, but they have a lot of similarities.
It's a fair comparison, even with directors.
Because right, because Joss Whedon, But especially the end sequence, it reminded me a lot of the Avengers when they had to stop the Chitauri and Loki. Yeah, it was very similar, and
it really was.
But the reason why the Avengers worked because there were so many high stakes because location-wise, it's set in New York City. Yeah. And in Justice League, it's set in this random town.
Very much Avengers 2, like
Sokovia 2.0,
Basically, but actually everybody was gone. Like, there was only, like, this one family. We'll talk about that in the spoilers.
But that annoyed me. That really bothered me because I'm like, okay, I don't feel like, the stakes are high for the world here. It's just, I don't know.
To me, I agree with you 1,000%. And but I feel like I just feel like even though with the reviews and probably they're going to make less money than they expect on this movie. Yeah. Especially after this opening weekend box office. Yeah. But I think they established what they needed. They needed to establish these 5. They established that, Aquabro and Cyborg can hold their own. Flashes we're just going to have to deal with. But he might grow on. Maybe he'll mature a little bit.
I have faith that in a standalone, I think that's when Ezra will probably shine. Yeah. Because he'll be a different director. Nothing against Zack Snyder, but I'm sorry, Zack Snyder does not know how to write a movie. I mean, he tell a story visually.
He's amazing. He's amazing. His vision is great, but he just and God forbid, he had to leave. Right. Tragic. He had to leave. Joss Whedon filled in. Right. But they need to find a the problem with Batman versus Superman, is not that it's too dark. At all. I don't care if there's a dark movie, if you have a darker tone or anything like that. That usually works. It just has a really bad story. And it really does. It's just really messy.
It's just messy, it's all over the place, discombobulated, just everywhere. It's just
I honestly feel like this movie has some of those qualities, but it's much more watchable and enjoyable. Yeah. And you just have a lot more fun with it. You definitely do.
Yeah, you do.
And honestly, the one-liners with Batman and Aquabro, I'm sorry, I keep calling him Aquabro, but they were funnier than Ezra to me. Like,
really? Okay.
Yeah, Batman's lines were funny as shit, and so was Aquaman's lines to me. Like, the second half.
It really surprised me, like, when they said certain lines we'll talk about. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it threw me out of loop, but it kind of shifted the tone. You could tell, like, the first half was very Zack Snyder-ish, and then the second half gets into, like, Joss Whedon
comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you and me reviewed, Thor a couple weeks earlier, that movie was comedy right from the get-go.
It stayed consistent. One tone.
It was funny right from the get-go, and it was great. It had its serious moments, but you could tell that they appreciated the comedy and they respected the comedy. Not saying this did it, because it had some funny jokes. But some of it, most of the forced jokes, I would say, were, like you said, Ezra, you could tell they did a lot of reshoots with him to make him say stuff that he probably didn't want to say, but So, in your eyes, was this movie really good?
At all? Yeah, it was good. It was not the worst movie. Yeah. It's not the worst movie ever. Like I said,
it's much better than what he pointed out with Batman. It's way better than this movie. Like, it's so much better than this movie. Yeah, you could watch Justice League over and over and have fun with it. Exactly. But it has some huge flaws.
It could have been way better. It has so much potential. Yeah. And this is a rare case where I actually want to see an extended edition. I want to see an extended cut.
I agree. I actually kind of want to see the 3-hour movie they had originally planned. Like Uncle Diddle's Warner Brother. Like, chill out. Get your hands out of there.
Yeah, because exactly. Because what they did here, the extended cut, really didn't do much for the story.
Yeah, that one didn't. This one it would.
They explained a few certain things, but it didn't really make much of a difference. And this was already too long. Where over here is under 2 hours, you can tell. Yeah. You can tell, like, there's a lot of scenes missing.
You can literally tell, like we said earlier. I think we said it off camera, though. Yeah. But where it felt like the fast forward button was on this whole movie. Like, you want to join Flash? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Aqua Bro? Not yet. Later. Okay.
Man, it's like they edited so much stuff out. Like,
yeah,
take that
you
out,
could
take
tell.
that out, take that out.
But I'm also concerned about, like, I do want to see the extended edition, but I'm also concerned if they took that much out, maybe it was that slow. Maybe it was like Batman.
That could be.
Or, you know, possibly.
That could be the thing. Or maybe it...
Excuse me.
Maybe it fleshed out everybody's characters better. You know, you never know. So.
All right, so let's talk about the ugly, like the really ugly parts about this movie, and we'll start with who you wanted to talk about from the get-go. And Steppenwolf is a terrible villain. The
Horrible.
Most basic,
horrendous, just so generic.
Very
so
generic.
Like mustache twirling, like I am going to demolish this world. It's like. He was unmemorable, and oh god, the CGI was atrocious. It was so
a very talented actor, and I wish they would. I wish they would humanized him a little bit more and had him mocapped.
Yeah,
you could tell he was just CG. There was no mocap at all. If he was mocapped and you had the more facial recognition, it would be a little bit cooler.
I don't understand, like having a budget like Justice League.
Yeah, it had like
why would you
get
lazy on a villain like that? It had so much potential.
And that's what it seemed like they really got lazy on in general was the CGI, to be honest with you. They really did. Like, they really got lazy with that.
And it's just...
It needed another render.
Yeah,
it needed another render.
It definitely did. If not, it's like, why CGI him completely? You didn't have to, I feel like. You could have actually built like a prosthetic suit out of him and have him wear like a mask. Yep. Kind of like... remember what they did with Ares? And that looked way better in Wonder Woman, right?
It did, yeah.
Kind of like that, where you just have his face hidden, make him have an imposing mask, and then when he takes it off, you can CGI his face, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that would
put
work.
The balls on his face. Put the
that
balls.
would work way better. He'll look less like CGI-ish, you know?
Yeah, it would. And he was the ugly in this movie, not because of his... It made the story very just generic, very basic, which we discussed earlier in the bad. It's kind of just a really basic story to fight, defeat the big bad villain. But yes, he was the weakest part of the link. Too much inconsistencies, right? Like in this movie, it just really too much. Like it definitely feels like two movies in one. Fast forward button, CGI could use another render big time.
Oh yeah, especially towards the end, man. Like that end sequence, the CGI did not look the best at all. It was very noticeable. It felt like they were on green screen throughout the entire final act, just like in a studio with green screen everywhere.
Yeah,
you know?
you could literally
tell.
Bad. Even the Star's lab, like with the janitor.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
That is clearly CGI.
Yeah. Yes. It's really, like when there's certain like set pieces, like when Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, when she's like in civilian clothes and then she meets Cyborg, like that street looks CGI. It looked fake. Like what? And then when
you couldn't afford the street, you know what they spent it on? It was those new Mercedes, bro. That's what they spent on.
Mercedes, guys, because we can all afford Mercedes.
Interesting note is that Batman Mercedes they made was the only one in the world.
Yeah, the only one in the world.
And they made it for Justice League for
now Batman. It makes sense. That's where their budget went.
Yeah, exactly. They went all into that.
They went all into that. Yeah.
You could also really tell that the reshoots. You could easily tell the reshoots in this movie. Like you could tell that was a reshoot. You know, like Flash doing his eye thing. That was a reshoot. You know, like when they were first meeting up on the roof, like you could tell that
reshoot.
That was a reshoot. In some ways, you know.
They even added certain things like, did you notice the original Batman score being used?
Yeah, Danny Elfman actually did the score.
Yeah.
He did the score.
They actually used that. What did you think about that when you heard it? Like, did it fit?
I thought it was pretty cool. I just the nostalgia in me. It's cool, but to be honest, like I know he did the score, but I didn't notice it as much the first time.
Yeah.
Like just hearing it because. It's been a while since I've seen the original Batman. I know Danny Elfman did that, and I do like that movie. I like Michael Keaton a lot. Yeah. But they replay Wonder Woman, they replay Superman's OG. Oh well, we'll get to him, but Superman's OG theme as well a little bit, and I like that. It's really interesting. I like that. I definitely feel like another thing was that we talked about it already, but two tones to the movie already. Zack Snyder. Josh Whedon, you could tell you can tell easily about the movies. Absolutely. So let's get to kiddies. This is the non-spoilers are over. We're gonna go right into the fun stuff.
Here we go.
Juicy details. We're giving you pause, giving you a little bit of a warning, but let's go right into the spoilers.
Let's do it.
So, was Superman's return worth it, man? Was he worth it? Like that feeling that let's just be honest, we all knew he was coming back.
We all knew he was coming.
He was coming back. But the way they brought him back was shocking to me, the Frankenstein type aspect of it. I was not expecting that.
Yeah. I'm mixed on it, honestly. Yeah. I'm like definitely 50-50, on it because it was great seeing him back, and I felt like Superman was better told in this film than in BVS. He wasn't an emotional emo mess like he was in BVS.
This is the closest thing we ever got to Superman, like true Superman.
I agree.
And Henry Cavill, I've always loved him, or Cavill.
Yeah.
I loved him. I always loved him, even in Man of Steel as Superman.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But he did not get the shine in BVS at all. This movie, he got the shine.
Yeah, he did.
He got the really shine.
They made up. You could tell they wrote it that way to make up for all that.
Yes, you could tell, definitely.
Because he was just... It was like when you watch BVS, he's just like this Superman that's just like broken and just down on his luck. Like, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe that. Is not Superman,
To me, he was very much like Batman, like in BVS.
Right.
In BVS, it's like, I don't like you because you do stuff. I don't like you because you do stuff. Mm-hmm. And that was basically us. Yeah. Oh wait, our moms are Martha. Now we're best friends. Yeah.
It was actually for me. It was more like Batman. Like, I don't like you because you did this, and Superman was like, okay. That's how he was throughout the entire film. Like, Lois, they don't like me.
Yeah. A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, so...
And a lot of too much Jesus symbolism, too, in that movie. Like, way too much, religious. But this movie, he smiles more. The suit's brighter. Yeah. It feels...
He plays off well with the other Justice League members, which I enjoyed. I was like, yes, this is what I wanted to see.
How do you feel, like, about the Frankenstein aspect where the mother box...
That's where I was like, okay, what the hell?
Because I was not expecting that. That at all. That threw me off.
This is the thing. If they... Yeah. The mother boxes aspect worked for me.
It did, yeah.
I hated, though, that they brought back that, like, cesspool in BVS, whatever that was, that toxic waste chemical thing.
Yeah,
where Doomsday was created. I was like, God, they're going to use this again. But luckily, they didn't stay there too long. They just needed it to get the mother box.
Do you agree with Batman to bring him back? Or do you feel like Aqua Bro and Wonder Woman were like, nah, bruh. Nah. But I like how Cyborg's like, well, you're being an asshole. I did the probability, and I think there's a high chance of...
Right.
Because
it's kind of...
Because they jabbed at each other a little bit.
It's kind of selfish in a way, because he's like...
Very selfish.
Yeah, but it ended up paying off, but me personally... I think they could have stopped Steppenwolf because I didn't feel that much of a threat with him. That's just what I got from him being a villain,
But like, how did you feel about his new persona at first, where he was evil Superman for a little bit?
That was a little jarring. Like, I was like, okay, I just roll with it, but going back to it, I was just so taken back.
I noticed, definitely check out his review on it. I noticed in your review you feel like he is completely back at the end. I don't think so. I think he's still learning who he is again.
Right.
I don't think he remembers everything.
But that's the part where I was like, okay, does he have short-term memory loss? Is he amnesiac now? Did he lose his memory? Because he clearly remembers, like, Batman, like, I remember you.
I want to go with the amnesia type angle, or like a newborn. Like, you're just still learning again. And I kind of want, like, he's not, like, he doesn't wake up and he's a baby. He wakes up in shock. And then Cyborg's like, oh, shit. And then they have that. It was really cool how they sneaked that battle in there. And then he grabbed Batman and said that line. He's like,
that was great.
He's like, do you believe?
That was great. It was like... it was so funny.
I love where Batman's like, Alfred, bring in the big gun.
Yeah.
And it's Lois Lane. Which, honestly, again, Amy Adams, right?
Yeah.
I like her as an actress a lot, but she does not get the shine at all at Lois Lane.
I honestly, since
they
her
call
casting,
her thirsty. They call
she yeah, I remember that. Like, who said that she was thirsty?
Clark's mom.
He's like, I remember when I first saw you were the thirstiest woman ever met. I was like,
Feta.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn. But, you know, and it's a real shame because her character in BVS was very worthless as well. Or she did a lot of stupid things for no reason.
Like Amy Adams she's a fantastic actress, but I felt like, me personally, in Man of Steel, she was miscast. She didn't fit the bill. Like, she didn't physically represent Lois. Yeah. And that's not even the problem. The problem is just the way they wrote her.
Yes, yeah.
You know, because if she wanted to make her own interpretation, a new one of Lois, she could have pulled it off with the perfect writing, you know? And, man, she just gets the short end of the stick. Like,
I think they need new writers, personally, for these movies. Besides the Wonder Woman cast. Those guys, those writers, you know, that director, she was fantastic.
Patty Jenkins. And that's why that movie worked. Because Patty Jenkins didn't take shit from no one. She's like, this is my Wonder Woman movie, damn it. And
you're like, you're right. She told Uncle Diddles, Warner Brothers, like, to chill out. Like, hey, back up.
And that's what you gotta do sometimes when, like, you know, when Warner Brothers try to put their fingers on everything.
Where you could literally feel in Justice League they were in there.
Yeah.
They were in
Absolutely. Yeah.
2 hours, get it done. I liked it at, I did like his new persona. In the only sense of, like, him getting that cool fight. We get to see that Justice League fight for a little bit because he whoops all that to the point where Flash runs.
That was great. Like, that was one of my favorite
That
scenes.
was cool as shit.
When he's running and it's just slow.
And I like Ezra Miller's look, too.
Yeah, he's like, what the F?
I like that scene a lot. Yeah. And I like, you know, he kind of, I guess he remembers Lois, and then it wakes him up a little bit, and he's like, I guess I owe him one. And technically, no. Like, you don't owe him anything. Yeah. The guy killed you, and the guy kind of woke you up at the same time. Where his line was classic, where he's like, well, you won't let me die, and you won't let me live.
Yeah, you won't let me die, you won't let me live.
And I'm like,
and then he goes, I like when Batman tells him, like, but the world needs you. And he goes, but the world doesn't need you.
Yeah. And that's the only time you get to see him a little emo and angry, but then he comes back and he has the big smile, he has the bright suit. Yeah. He has the great one-liners.
The other thing, I was a little disappointed because I thought we were going to get the black suit. You know, that would have been cool.
I thought we were too, but maybe they reshot it. Maybe they took it out. And like,
that's a damn shame. That disappointed me because I expected.
The real question is, I guess Kryptonians don't decompose? Because wasn't it's like 6 months apart or something?
I guess not. No, his body's just like.
I guess because he looked all clean. He wasn't decomposed. There's no worms in him.
That's just Henry Cavill, man. He's blessed. Yeah, so
like it's, but I really like Superman in this movie. He really gets the shine. Henry gets the shine. He plays really well. How do you feel like overall the arc of the movie? Did you feel like it, spoiler wise, did you feel like it fit good enough just to get to the end, or you know they, like we said earlier, it's kind of just like the fast forward button. They kind of just.
I mean, for the most part, it worked. There was just...
I agree. Like,
for the most part, it worked. For what they were going for, it worked. It just could have been told way better. It could have been done with a way better villain and way better CGI effects. Way better. Like, Steppenwolf looked like a video game character. Like, he just came out of Skyrim or something.
Yeah!
Seriously. You watch everybody else and then you see him and you're just
The funny thing is, you're not the first person to say that. I've seen a lot of reviewers talk about it.
It's true. It's like they plucked him out of, like, Elder Scrolls or Warcraft or something and just inserted him into this movie. Like, there's
copy and paste.
There's copy and paste. There's Steppenwolf right there.
So let's talk a little bit of Mira. What'd you think of her and her powers? What'd you think of the Landians overall? Do you think the armor was too heavy or?
No, I liked the overall look. It was just, like I said, everything was just so rushed. You didn't get to really indulge. In everything they were building up. Like, all these worlds they're kind of introducing us to and building up. I felt like we didn't have enough time to really take all that in.
I hope we get to see more of her powers later, because in the comics she could do like water swords and lasers and
so
stuff.
Cool.
Where in this she was just making big bubbles and explosions, but it was cool. Like the water flakes actually looked a lot better than I thought. And she could take a hit. She took a straight up axe to the to Steppenwolf and Aqua was like, Aqua Bro's like, you alright? And she's like, just shut up. Like, you ran away and blah, blah, blah. Like, just goes off on him. It's like, meanie, rude.
She can be rude to me anytime.
I know, but I like that they're not husband and wife yet. Like, she doesn't respect him yet, you know, because he's too much. We're to the point where she's like, your mother would never run away. It's time for you to take up the kingdom and stuff like that, and I like that. Yeah. And I like where he's like, well, I'm going to need something. And that's where he gets the trident. So I wonder if they actually had an extra scene where you actually see him pick it up or something. Because he just, next time you see him, he has his armor and the trident and everything.
Yeah. Well, what do you thought about them, like, with the air bubble, them having to talk through that? Like,
I believe if they got to really figure this out. Because if they do that in the Aquaman movie, it's going to be long as shit.
Because it's like, let's say, like, they're fighting somebody,
I hate to do the flipper dolphin thing, but maybe they just do the telekinetic, like, you know, like, they just talk through their heads, like they got, like, telepathic powers or something.
It's like, Mirror, where are you?
Yeah, like, I do like how Batman's like, so do you talk to fish at all? Yeah. And he mentions, he doesn't exactly talk to fish, it's just the currents of the waves and stuff.
I'm very curious to see how they're going to handle that in the Aquaman movie.
They need to figure something out because it's because they can't keep doing that. Every time they keep doing it, I liked it. It worked in this movie and we got it, but you can't do a full movie on that. No, every time they got to talk, they do that. Unless I got a feeling a lot of the movie's going to be on land or something, or in their kingdom on land or something.
Because then it's like, are we even going to get any dialogue underwater? Yeah. I mean, like, they're just going to be in an air bubble the entire time. It's
a big time interesting question, but I did like Mira. I did like her look. Yeah. She definitely looked good. She's
getting Wonder Woman run for her money.
I agree too. I want to mention, I always hate on Aquaman. I've never been a big Aquaman fan.
Oh no, I understand.
But to you Aquaman faithful, I actually really like Jason Momoa's Aquaman. Aquabro.
This take is awesome.
Mira looked fantastic. It's good. His movie, I definitely want to see now. Like, they sold me on it.
Yeah.
What do you think of the retelling of Steppenwolf's story, where they talked about the like Atlanteans,
the lanterns, and you got a little bit of Shazam.
You did. You got a little bit of the Shazams in there as well.
That was mind blowing, honestly. I was like, whoa.
Just to throw a hint out of there that there's lanterns still, and there's like the ring flew off.
Yeah, that was cool.
So it's still gonna
see that
they're gonna. So they'll probably search for a new lantern soon or something.
See that was awesome. That was very pleasing.
I liked how they talked about how, like, man and Atlanteans and the Amazons and we had space aliens, which was the lanterns, and then gods like Shazam help out, which is really cool. They show expanding DC universe a little bit. Nice little Easter egg for everybody. Not not a real traditional lantern. It was just a fake. Because it wasn't any lantern we knew anyway. It was just a creature that was put there to show you that, hey, there's lanterns in the universe.
That's the one exposition scene that actually worked for me.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. I liked that storytelling a lot in that scene where all the races came back together.
To battle
to battle him, and he got butthurt by it because it's his first loss.
And he retreated. Like, I must retreat.
Well, he didn't want to. Like, all his Beetleborgs. his Beetleborgs.
That's another thing. Like, the way he was, I guess, killed off or sent away was like, they smelled fear on him.
Let's talk about that. Do you think he's dead? I don't think he's dead. I think he just went back to Darkseid.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't come back. I hope if he does go to Darkseid, I hope Darkseid just kills him off. Like, you disappointed me.
Let's talk about that interesting aspect, because it seems like they're shifting away, especially because of the end credits. Yeah. That Darkseid we won't see for a while, for a long while. But originally it looked like they were hyping up Darkseid, but they mentioned him only once in the movie. Steppenwolf really quickly mentions Darkseid only once. But after that, he is not mentioned again. So the end credits was completely different than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Definitely reshot and redid. Definitely a different end credit. So it's not Darkseid anymore. So big time spoiler there. We already know the spoiler section.
Okay.
But how do you feel about that? Them shifting away from that and going to... let's just talk about it. Did they finally get the end credits right for you? Personally, for me, they did.
But, yes, they did. They did. Let's talk about the first one.
Yeah, let's talk about the funny
comic book.
Let's
talk about the second one.
Yeah, let's talk about the comic book one.
I like that. I like that they referenced that storyline, the race of a lifetime. I think it is.
Yep.
Where is the Flash and Superman?
They play with that a lot in this movie. Flash and Superman racing each other.
Yeah.
Even Superman's like slowpoke, and then he saves that big house and saves everybody.
That was great. I'm already loving their dynamic. So they have good chemistry already. So I'm really liking that.
And I like where he's like, "Well, if I win, you're off the team."
Oh
and
yeah.
He's like, "Oh, you're playing."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Let's go to the Pacific. I've never been there."
Yeah.
He's like,
"Is that way?" Flash doesn't know his directions. It's so funny.
To be funny, if I was Flash too, I probably would not know my directions either.
It was something so small and subtle. I like how they inserted that to the Flash. Him not knowing where to go.
Also, if I played Flash, I would probably go back into Batman vs Superman and be like to Ben Affleck. I'd be like, "Bruce, Rotten Tomatoes, Bruce, Rotten
Tomatoes, Bruce, it's everywhere."
Bruce, seriously, Rotten Tomatoes.
What's going on?
But I like how they hinted at that storyline, that race between the two, which is really cool.
That would be interesting if that scene is what ties into the Flashpoint storyline.
Yeah.
It could. Maybe he runs fast enough that he just goes back in time.
Or future or whatever.
That would be cool. If they did that, that's
because that alternate universe is really cool, especially what they do with Batman, where Batman's the Batman there is his father, and his mother's the Joker. I like that a lot. It's a nice, interesting twist. I think they
definitely need to utilize that now because you heard that Ben Affleck is trying to get out of being Batman.
Let's talk about that rumor. We've heard of this rumor for a long time now that Ben Affleck wants out, and do you really think it's true?
I think it is because they even there's already mention saying maybe Jake Gyllenhaal will come in to play Batman now.
Yeah, I heard that, and I do not want that because I like Batflick now. I accepted him.
I have accepted him.
But they do a lot of hints in this movie. They mention he's older. It's 20 years now. He's getting his ass kicked.
Yeah. So if they were to do it, I think the best opportunity to get a new Batman would have to be a Flashpoint. Somehow incorporate that in there and just make it work.
It'd be a little strange because that's his dad,
right? Unless they go a different route,
you said, they might not exactly use that Flash.
Right,
they might use
the Flashpoint story element to try to turn events, change events. It doesn't have to be necessarily by the book. Flashpoint. So.
Very true. That's a very valid point.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like the fact? We'll get to that one end credit scene in a second.
Oh man,
I want to talk about the fact that Batman's kind of getting more full of life towards the end when he makes the Hall of Justice. He talks about it anyway.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, just put the 6 chairs here to Alfred and then Diana, who's with him." That's why I think
we need more chairs.
Yeah, and I that's why I think they're kind of shipping those two. I'm shipping. I would like that. It's a pairing you see in comics, but not a lot. Usually, you see Wonder Woman and Superman.
Which I hope they go down that route where she maybe ends up with Batman because she goes with Superman. It's like two gods. Joining together, really
And I like the fact. And how did you feel? Do you feel like he was out of line when he mentioned her ex?
Absolutely.
She was like, ah!
He deserved it. She's like, damn you, Batfleck.
I don't think it's totally out of line, to be honest with you, because...
Well, he did he made some interesting points that were true.
Yeah, he definitely did because she's been around for 100 years, and he's like, why aren't you a hero of hope for people and stuff like that? But sometimes it takes everybody a chance to heal.
He did that.
Everyone heals in a different time.
He did that on purpose to kind of put her in the leadership role,
they were hinting at that, like they wanted to.
That's why.
But I don't know. They played with that dynamic with her and all. And apparently Ben Affleck said a lot of that was reshot. Like that romance was reshot in a little bit.
Yeah, when she attends to his boo boo from Superman.
And she snapped his shoulder back in place. I was like, oh. But it's let's talk about the most interesting. We forgot to talk about Cyborg. And how he was the main plot of the movie and what it was.
Yeah, where he's
made of the mother box.
Yeah, he's made from the mother box. So I like where he said there's just language going on in his head. And he can't understand, like, this alien language. So I thought that was very fascinating. I like how he played that pivotal role where he had to control the mother boxes, and he was the key to...
He found the last mother box easy. He's like...
Yeah, he's like, I got it.
After that big fight scene in Gotham Bay or whatever, and he just flies away, and Flash is like, did he just dip on us?
Oh, yeah. He's like, he just dipped out.
Yeah, he just dipped out. And then he comes back with the mother box. I got it.
I got it, guys. Yeah.
And that's when they resurrect Superman or whatever.
Yeah.
I like that he had a big-time pivot. He was the central figure of this storyline. And Ray Fisher, like we talked about earlier, he knocked it out of the park. I thought... Because you don't see barely anything from him in the trailers or anything.
No, you don't.
But he really, to me, honestly, he really shines in this movie.
He really did.
And I like him a lot.
I would say he was the best Justice League member that was so fleshed out, in my opinion.
Yeah, his story was definitely the most complete. Because he was the central part of the story, honestly. Right. So, anything more you want to add on
Let's
that?
Let's talk about, what do you think about the Wonder Woman sequence at the beginning where she saves the hostages and all that?
I say she got a little flashy.
A little flashy? But it was so awesome, though, when she deflected the bullets.
No, it was really cool, but where she was running, I guess she is a god. She could run super fast, I guess. But it just seemed a little too flash to me. But
it was funny because,
I like that scene, though. That scene was epic.
It was epic.
I feel like the first two scenes, like the Batman scene was really good and the Wonder Woman scene was really good, but it's a weird... pacing issue they kind of had, I felt like.
Yeah, because it's just jumping from scene to scene from that point.
Yeah, where it was just like, okay.
Yeah, here's Batman with the parademon. Here's Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
and then
saving
we just
people.
Jump in with Flash. Here's Flash. Here's Aquaman. Here's Cyborg. Here's Steppenwolf. Here's Themyscira. It's just like everywhere.
Yeah, and I really did like that scene though, and I like how I like Jeremy Irons as Alfred so much that he's just the witty British butler, where he's like, well, why don't you give Diana a call? Like, well, why didn't you call her? He always like, Master Bruce, why won't you find love and stuff.
Master Bruce, come on.
He's always trying to, play Cupid and stuff. I like that. It's really cute.
I feel like because Jeremy Irons is so good. I like him as Alfred.
Like, the talent in the DCU is not lacking. The talent's good. It's just the writing needs to be a lot better. The pacing needs to be better. And then just figure out a good storyline. We
didn't even get much of the actor J.K. Simmons, who played Commissioner Gordon in this film. We didn't get much of him either.
Yeah, he was there for literally one scene.
He fits the bill. He looks just like Commissioner Gordon from Batman the Animated Series.
He does. He looks really good.
And I like that actor. That actor is fantastic. He's the one who played J. Jonah Jameson.
He looks exactly like J. Jonah Jameson.
Parker, get in here.
There's a rumor that he might come back and be Jonah Jameson in the Spider-Man Homecoming 2.
That would be an early Christmas gift.
It would be. It would be fantastic.
He was the best part of
Spider-Man. He was. Yeah, he was.
It was so funny.
The original Spider-Man.
He's like, Parker, you're fired. Oh, that's right. I need you. You're rehired. Like, all his scenes are hilarious. But, he didn't get that much to shine. Neither did Alfred. I felt like Alfred should have been used a little bit more. But
Cyborg kind of took his role over.
He did.
Like he became the new Alfred.
When he commandeered the Batwing, he's like, "Don't worry, Alfred, I'll take it."
Yeah.
Excuse me? Yeah. Who are you?
Yeah. He's like, "Excuse me, do I know you?
Are you taking over my role?"
And I like that a lot. And I also appreciate in this movie they didn't have that typical superhero breakup where like, "Oh, I'm gonna go brood off somewhere else."
Yeah.
They had their fight, but they stuck together when they fought.
They did. They had their differences, but they always stuck together. And I like how, especially during the sequence where they were talking about bringing Superman back to life.
Yeah.
That was a very interesting conversation, and
I like how they all didn't agree on it. Yeah, I like how Bruce took some cheap shots a little bit.
Yeah, Aquaman was on Diana's side. He's like, I agree with Diana. I don't think this is a good idea.
Yeah, he was smart about it.
Yeah, and then the Flash was kind of like in between. He's like, I don't like to choose sides, guys.
Yeah. And then I said earlier, Cyborg's like, well, when you were being an asshole, I was running the probability.
Yeah.
And yeah, we could probably bring him back.
It'd probably be a good idea.
Yeah.
So you had both sides of the spectrum, and that's what the Justice League is.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like, okay, guys, we're gonna go do this.
And to be honest, I really felt like they were a good team. Like they really trusted each other. That I love the funny scene where Aquaman's sitting on the lasso of truth.
Oh my god, that was so funny.
He's just being honest.
He's like, "Oh yeah, Diana,
you're hot. Yeah,
you're
like,
so hot."
And then he's like, "I'm too young to die, and I really like you guys.
I really like this team."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Shit."
Yeah, and he throws it, and then he goes up to Flash. He goes, "You tell anybody, I'll make sure piranhas eat you."
Oh yeah.
And Flash was like,
"Did you guys hear that? I didn't hear nothing. I didn't hear nothing." Oh my god.
So I really enjoy that. I really do. I like. There's a lot of fun parts. There's a lot of things to like about this movie, but there's a lot of bad too. Where it's kind of just a basic superhero movie.
Yeah.
But it has its purpose. It's gonna
like the final battle sequence was meh. Like it was like. Yeah, the stakes didn't feel as high. It felt like we were in Sokovia. Like, really...
You knew they were going to win.
Yeah.
And do you want to talk about the mustache a little bit?
Yes, let's talk about that.
Okay. It is pretty bad. You can see it in
I don't understand why they couldn't just leave the mustache. Me, personally, I don't think it would affect me, like seeing Superman with a mustache. I think it'd be interesting. Because I looked at the set photos because he couldn't shave it off because he's doing like Mission Impossible 6.
Yeah, that was it's funny. He has contractual obligations on Mission Impossible 6 because he's the villain.
Yeah.
To the point where he couldn't shave it. Like it's in his contract that he has to keep his mustache.
But it's like I saw how his mustache. He had like full blown mustache and a beard, and I'm thinking, okay, why is that jarring? Why wouldn't that work? He's been in a coffin for how many months? He would eventually grow a mustache and a beard. Remember in Man of Steel, he had one?
I think he did in the beginning.
Yeah, so
I think the reason being is how many they shot scenes without it already. Yeah. Because he was called back to do reshoots when, that tragedy happened to Zack Snyder and his fam. And he had to leave, and Josh Whedon came in, so he got called back for reshoots. And that's why
I see, because they already shot him without.
They shot, like, most of that stuff was without it, but towards the end, you could tell that you kind of had a extended lip and stuff. Like, you could tell it was CGI. And that's not easy to remove, but you got to have better people doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's probably in quick time and stuff like that, but the first part, honestly, it didn't bother me too much. As much as other people, but you could tell it's there. It's just kind of funny. Yeah. It's just kind of funny. It's just
especially with that close up when he's like, "Do you believe?" His lip is like down there. I'm like, what?
Like, I think for the most part they did a pretty decent job at it.
I mean, they tried their best. Yeah,
but yeah, it's bad. You probably will notice it more at the end of the movie than that scene. Because in that scene, I didn't really notice it too much because I wasn't really paying too much attention to that. But when you start paying attention to him towards the end with Cyborg, when he's helping Cyborg out, you could tell. You could tell it's Blaine. So let's talk about probably the final thing is the final end credits where they walk away from Darkseid. I was expecting Darkseid, and they kind of set up the Legion of Doom.
The Legion of Doom with Deathstroke. What? Oh, I loved it.
And it's Mangaloni?
Yeah, Joe Mangaloni.
He's I like him a lot because he did a couple episodes of How I Met Your Mother and he was hilarious in them. Really good. He's also in True Blood. He's in everything. The guy's been in everything.
I've seen him around in a few things.
But he looks like a good Deathstroke.
He looks awesome. Slade Wilson to the T. It was funny because, I don't know if you've seen the CW series Arrow where they have Deathstroke in there.
They do have Deathstroke in there, yeah.
He looks very similar to that actor, like to Manu Bennett, who's a fantastic actor. I like him as Deathstroke in Arrow, but I saw him and I'm like, wait a minute, are they using this actor from CW? But no, it's Joe Mangalo.
Yeah. Mangaloni, like he's really good, but I kind of like that they kind of stepped away from Darkseid and went more human with the villains.
More grounded,
more of the. So if they're setting up, like, I think that's why a lot of people like this end credits a lot more because not to throw Marvel in again. If they did Darkseid, it'd be very much like Thanos.
That
they're hyping up.
And the most the most biggest takeaway from that end credit scene, I'm gonna get a little close, guys, is that Lex didn't annoy me.
Honestly, yeah, Jesse Eisenberg did not annoy me either. I did not like him.
I was surprised. I was like, as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh god,
he looked the part. He wore the suit. Right.
He looked the part.
He looked
like Lex and the yacht, just like. I was like,
he only had a couple lines. That was good. Just keep that.
Yeah.
Keep that there. Just
I think John
lines.
Sweden was like, look, I know. I'm trying to insert comedy here, but we don't need you to be Jim Carrey. We do not need you to be Jim Carrey.
This is not Zombieland.
Yeah, we don't need you to act like you're on cocaine or anything like that.
But I think I think he will respect the part more when they do the Justice.
I mean, he must have seen the backlash on his character. He must have seen.
It's tough being an actor. Like Ezra is gonna have a 50-50 backlash. Like some people are gonna like it, a lot of people are not gonna like it. I feel like everybody else will be more positive. I think a lot of people will like all the other characters.
I think he got a positive reaction from most of the reviews that I've seen. A lot of people really credit Ezra Miller, like, oh, him being a comedic relief worked in this film, And I'll
agree with that. It worked in this film, but for me, his comedy, his shtick is not my favorite. Yeah, that's just not Barry Allen to me personally, and I'm a little biased on it because I like Flash a lot. Flash is I like the Barry Allen. I like the kid that plays Barry Allen in the CW show much better than Ezra, which he should be standing with these guys. But I understand it's different stuff. They keep their things separate. But I think they did the end credits right, and it was really really well done. It sets up a more humanized story. Who do you think they're going to use as Wonder Woman's villain? Cheetah, maybe?
Cheetah.
That'd be
probably,
cool.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah,
it'd be really cool. It'd be really cool to see who they use. I'm sure they'll try to get Leto back for Joker. Maybe they'll have Joker and Harley Quinn in that. Probably.
That would be interesting. I don't know if Leto would even want to come back. I think he's expressed that he doesn't even want to come back.
I know he talked a lot of shit about it, but they'll be like, smacking him with money. But okay,
He's like, if you don't accept, we'll just CGI.
I hope everyone likes anal beads again. Supposedly he was doing that as Joker, like he was mailing anal beads to his cast and stuff. Like Joker wouldn't do it. Like, dude, that's not Joker.
I don't know. His performance in that movie.
I didn't hate it, but it was.
I disliked it though.
I think it was just a combination of too many things though. Like Gangster Joker just doesn't work for me.
Right, with the grills and just like what?
And then he's uncomfortable sitting in your lap and like touching you. It's like, dude, are you like back up, bro?
Yeah, it's too touchy feely. Like back he's up, like, oh my. Or he's such smooth skin.
Or like he gets his hand kissed. He's like, I think you mean that. Yeah, I can tell you meant that. And he's like all up on him. Like, oh my god.
He acted like a crackhead. I'm sorry. In that movie.
And I think that was his take on Joker. Was just very
Harley,
very pushy person in your face. Where Joker is more of a psychotic.
And I think that's how the way he was written was just. Over the top.
I know he definitely disapproved because there's so much on the cutting room floor of him. The same thing with this movie. So it's going to be interesting to see the extended edition of this movie, what they put back in, what we'll see. Hopefully it works. Anything you want to end with besides our rating? We'll give our rating out in a second here.
Well, no, it just like I said, it was, for what it's worth, it worked for the most part. And I had a lot of fun. It wasn't a god-awful movie. Yeah. It was messy storytelling, a very weak, forgettable villain. The CGI was
bad,
really bad at times.
It was,
and the stakes could have been raised lower. I kind of wish they took it in a different direction. Maybe like have Steppenwolf be the one to resurrect Superman and have him be the antagonist for a little bit would have been more personal, interesting. I think
that would be pretty cool, but
and then giving him the black suit, which is
I wish we could talk to actually Zack Snyder and see the actual full reel because there was definitely a full reel pitched in the movie, but you could tell they snippety snip, fast forward.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they did.
So what would you give it rating wise? And is it
well originally I gave this like 8 out of 10 first impressions. Well, I'm going to bring my grade down a little bit to it's more of a 7 out of 10 in my opinion. Especially if with the messy storytelling and the weak villain and the CGI effects and just everything they cut out.
Yeah.
It could have been told much better, but for what it's worth, all the Justice League members worked well, played well off each other, and I really enjoy their dynamic. And I hope to see more of them in their individual movies. So.
I agree with you. I feel like it's a 7 out of 10. I could be a little bit harsher, but I actually enjoyed it, so I had fun with it.
That's a big takeaway. You have fun with this movie.
I had fun with it, but I can definitely see the flaws, and I'm in the camp that critics, where a lot of people are like, "Oh, F the critics, they don't know what they're talking about." I'm not in that camp. They've seen a whole bunch of great Marvel movies, superhero movies.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's Marvel biased critics." Like,
that's not the case. You could, if you really look at this movie and compare it to Thor, compare it to Avengers, compare it to a movie that is so much better in the DCU than this one, Wonder Woman, that they did a few months ago.
Yeah,
literally like 5 months ago, that movie came out.
Like that movie is praised. It is probably the
universally praised. Yeah,
the top 10 best films of 2017. Was
so
Wonder Woman.
like it's not doing good in the box office. I encourage you to go see it. It's a 7 out of 10 for me. Yeah. Go check it out. Go to Night Phase's channel. Like, comment, subscribe. Do the same here. We really appreciate you on the channel. I really appreciate you coming by.
Thanks for having me again, man. It's always fun.
You guys, GG Nation, GG Legion. You guys have always done really well. I really appreciate you guys. It's insane how well this channel's doing. I know it's not a lot to most YouTubers, but it means a lot to me. And I'm having a lot of fun. I'm glad you guys are liking the content. But tell us in the comments below what you really think. What you really took away from this movie. Did you enjoy it? Have you not seen it yet? And if you haven't, honestly, just go out. Go out.
Yeah, give this a chance.
Yeah, go watch it.
Don't let Rotten Tomatoes be your deciding factor.
Yeah, you be the decider.
Yeah, that's the only thing I disagree on is a lot of people invest too much on these critic sites like IGN, Rotten Tomatoes. Like, don't let that be a deciding factor.
Yes.
Go watch the film for yourself.
100% agree with my boy Nightface. Definitely do that. Definitely go to his channel. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell us down below, honestly, what you guys thought of the movie. Yeah. Go check out his reviews. He does a lot of great ones. He's doing Punisher right now. I think he finished it.
Yeah, my review for Punisher is up, guys. This one I'm wearing. Punisher.
Go check that out if you want to know how he feels about it. I've watched the first 2 episodes. I like it so far. I'm liking it so far. Yeah. But GG Nation, GG Legion, your fella, Straussman, the GG.
Nightface.
And Nightface.
The BB.
Yeah. We're outie.
We're outie.